Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
Hello and welcome to another great episode of the Great Debaters Contest. I am your host, Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bishar.
Should euthanasia be legalized? That is what we seek to answer today by this debate.
And of course, the two schools facing off will be Kahuhia girls and Kagumo boys. And Kagumo have told their opponents they wish them the best of luck because they will need it. On the other hand, Kahuhia girls want to let fine judgment be the definer of this debate. We'll leave it now to the debaters.
What exactly is euthanasia? When you talk of euthanasia, what are we talking about? Now, euthanasia is a right of a competent terminally ill person to avoid excruciating pain and embrace a timely and dignified death. This is where someone is affected by terminal illness that has no cure. Talk of cancer, talk of Ebola, the recent outbreak in Sierra Leone and those Western countries. This is whereby the patient sees that there is no hope, I'm sick, recovery is not anywhere around the corner, and therefore the only solution is to just die peacefully rather than just suffer and have to bear all the pain. Now, euthanasia can either be voluntary or non-voluntary. Now, voluntary euthanasia has been legalized in countries such as Belgium, which was the first to legalize it. It is happening in countries like Netherlands. It is happening in Washington, which is one of the US states. It is happening in Mauritania and also happening in many other countries. Now, when we talk of voluntary euthanasia, this is whereby the patient chooses by their own will to decide to die rather than just suffer. We also have non-voluntary euthanasia, which is illegal and considered as murder. And I want to believe that no one will just walk into a hospital and decide to kill a cancer patient without their own will. No. In most of these cases, it is whereby it is from their own will, it is from their heart. Now, we can be able to adopt the European Declaration of Human Rights that states that a person has a right not to be forced to suffer, but should be considered a crime to make someone live whereas they do not want to live, forcing someone to live while they are suffering, forcing someone to live whereas death is just around the corner. I mean, no one was forced to born because we all love our lives. So why should you force someone to live whereas they are at the brink of death? We have a good example, and that is Diane Pretty from England, who was suffering from motor neuron and was at her fatal state. It was at its fatal state, it was a terrible condition, and death was what was expected. And so her husband, together with her, decided to appeal to the court so they will be given permit to be able to go ahead with the procedure so that euthanasia could be done and that her wife could be saved from all the suffering. But what happened? The court went against it. They decided to make it illegal, and she ended up dying in the worst conditions she expected. I want you to picture this. Picture your mother, picture your father seated on that bed. They will wish and they are ready to accept death because they are suffering too much. They are in excruciating pain. They cannot bear it, but it is just too much. But what happens? You'll have life. So you don't give them a chance. They just stay like that. So it is not right. You also have we find families who are not capable to pay for the patient's funds at the hospital. So it is only considerate that the patients find that money is not enough and just decide that let me ease my family members of that burden. So my part in short, euthanasia should be legalized with no doubt. Thank you.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes.
Life is sacred. Life is priceless. Life is adorable. Life is amazing. And it is human nature to want to hang on to life until that very last minute. Now, this motion has been opposed or is not functioning in 2.06 countries in this world. So probably, as you can see, it is very unpopular. Now, euthanasia is against the law of the good Lord, and it is against the law of many constitutions in this world. I'll take our constitution, Kenya's constitution, 2010, chapter 4, article 26, and clause number 1, that everyone has a right to life, irrespective of whether they are terminally ill or not. Then the law of the Lord saith in Exodus 20, verse 13, that ye shall not kill. Ye shall not kill. Now, maybe it's normal for us to insult the hand that feedeth us, but it is outrageous to insult the hand that gives us life. Now, euthanasia again is against medical ethics and ethos, that is of the health practitioners, according to the 12th century original oath, that nor shall any man's entreaty prevail upon me to administer poison to anyone, neither will I counsel any man to do so. So in this case, euthanasia is poison because it causes death. And it is a doctor's duty to preserve, to protect, to uphold life at any cost. Now, euthanasia brings a lot of negligence and irresponsibility. Now, assuming, and may the Lord forbid, that your parent falls ill with a terminal illness, will you subject them to euthanasia? That parent who failed to go to carnival because she was pregnant with you. That parent who washed you tirelessly when you fell down or you got dirty. That parent who was so patient to teach you one or two things. That parent who would not be disgusted by your poop or soos. Now you put a price tag on their lives. Now, can you put a price tag on one's life and claim that it is very expensive? That it is expensive for a family to take someone to the hospital because they are terminally ill? I said it before and I'll say it again, that life is sacred. You cannot put a price tag on life. Life is significant. Life is important. Life is sacred. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes.
First of all, I'd like to put something across. You said that in your Turkish saying, thank you for telling us, that life is sacred. But here, we're talking about life that's almost ending. Even if we leave this person to live, he's still going to die. So this life is at almost death. What you're doing, you're using euthanasia as a catalyst to speed up the dying process. You're talking that euthanasia is so unpopular. Yeah, it's so unpopular. The thing is that these countries know that this is euthanasia. What they've not done, they've not decided to implement it. People usually fear something they think is going to be dangerous even before they start trying it. And that's where we get cowards from. Because cowards are people who have this behavior of not trying to put risks. And a good risk has got a good benefit. So I advise you in those countries, in fact I'd send you as ambassadors, go and tell them to go and try this. Because if they do this, it might encourage cowardism. Let me make something clear. We're not legalizing euthanasia for it to be a must for people to undertake it. No. What you're actually doing is that you're offering a legal solution for people to get an alternative, to stop doing it behind our backs. This is, when people continue to do this, and they do this illegally, yeah, it's got some good consequences. But once you legalize it, you might even be in a position to improve the way it's done. So we're not actually coming against human life. Please understand us. What you're actually doing is that you're trying to improve human life by ensuring that these people die a good death. Mark you, death is something that is so painful. For God's sake. The thing is, even if you like it or not, you cannot go away from death. What you're actually doing is that this death, once you put euthanasia in it as a catalyst, we're trying to make death a little bit sort of sweeter. We're trying to add, if you took salt, I'm trying to put you some little sugar. Isn't it? So whenever you die, you're going to die a happy, and you're going to die a death that is peaceful. So, I tell you, I've never, and I hope never ever to be in a situation where I'll have to decide on using euthanasia. But if I become in such a situation, I'll definitely go for it. No doubt about it. And I know you too. You don't like pain, do you?
Opposer, you may give your rebuttal. You also have 3 minutes.
How do you even know that death is painful and you are alive? You might as well be a victim of resurrection. Life that is almost ending is still life. Life is life. God, forgive me for even standing here to even debate about this motion. Ladies and gentlemen, life is the full sanctity of the word, the full meaning of that word, life. You are life. You seated there, you are life. Now let me give you alternatives instead of this callous euthanasia. We can use hospices. On the event that you're so disgusted at even caring for your sick parent, your sick aunt, your sick brother, your sick sister, your sick husband, your sick wife. On the event of such occurrences, and I hope none in this hall can get there, we can take these people to hospices. After all, there are 32 free hospices in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, we can use palliative sedation, where these sick patients can be given medicine so that they can be unaware or unconscious of their pain. Example, muscle spasms, or bone pain, or to be unaware of the feelings of fear and despair. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is not the only solution. We can use nutritional support, where these people where we can use feeding tubes to help the sick patients. We don't have to go for euthanasia. It is not your right to end the life of your sick parent, your sick brother, your sick sister, your sick aunt, your sick friend. Ladies and gentlemen, we can use dialysis, whereby machines can function as kidneys. We can use ventilators, where machines can support a sick patient who is not able to breathe. The domino effect. From one domino to the next, uninterrupted. La vie pahardi. Life is precious. Life is sacred. Euthanasia is no option. And once something is legal, my worthy opponents, that shows that it is acceptable by law. And we must follow it. Life is not to be put on a debate panel. Euthanasia, ladies and gentlemen, is not an option. Let us go for the alternatives. Gracias.
I picked up my phone, called up my mama. Hey mama, I need money. She be like, do you got your M-Pesa on you? I said, yeah, I do. She said, all right, let me send you some money. So she sent some money through M-Pesa, then I got myself a new pair of shoes. Thanks to M-Pesa.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap, or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
Questions for the proposing team?
You say that euthanasia should be legalized. Don't you think suicidal cases will increase in the country and this will lead to economic constraints?
Vicky Wangeshi, Sarai Girls Center. My question is to the opposers. I have a question. One, if my parent wants euthanasia to happen, he or she wants to die because she's in pain, what do I do in such a case? And how expensive or cheap are the other solutions you're able to offer? Because the ones you've mentioned are expensive.
Proposal number 3, you have 3 minutes to respond.
I want to ask you a very simple question. Which one do you think is much cheaper? Carrying out euthanasia or treating a terminally ill person? You know, a terminally ill person, according to the Macmillan Dictionary, it states that it's a somebody approaching death. Terminal. The meaning of terminal is somebody approaching death. And if that person is sick, you will use all the resources you have until you become poor. Poor like, no, more poor than poor. But if you decide to take euthanasia, it simply means a simple way of giving somebody a sweet death. I have an issue with the first proposer. You talked of life being sacred, and that no one dares dispute. We all know life is sacred. But where does the principles of this sacred life state that this sacred life should be miserable? Where? Never. It should be a healthy being living a sacred life. You also talked about murder. Don't you understand the difference between murder and euthanasia? We're talking about mercy killing. Mercy killing, my friend, is not murder. If a thug approaches you and shoots you until you are dead, he never did mercy killing to you, my friend. He murdered you. Again, if a high court judge decides you will be sentenced to murder, do you want to tell me the high court judge is a murderer? No, that was it. Murder is very different from euthanasia. Now, if you did your research properly, you talked of a pregnant mother and the fetus being given mercy killing. For heaven's sake, we are talking about mercy killing to people who are either terminally ill or under very extreme conditions to be given these mercy killings. Now, even here in Kenya, have you ever had a pregnant mother and her fetus has been given euthanasia? It can never happen. So check on that and expand on your research. Otherwise, thank you.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Nemandeti from Kahuhia Girls High School. The lady from Starehe Girls. As for your question, I really wish and I hope that your parent is a Christian. Read the good book. The Lord said, there is glory in suffering. Again, life is priceless. We cannot put a price tag on life. Now, medical ethics, codes, and ethos dictate that doctors should aim at preserving life, not destroying it. Let one and all arise, with hearts both strong and true. Service be our earnest endeavor. We sing that every day in our national anthem. Now, is it service for a doctor to take away the life of a patient? Duty be duty, service is duty. Now, let's not walk heaven and deliver hell. Euthanasia is a defilement to the medical codes, ethos, and ethics. Again, some people are known to survive from long-term ailment. Killing them, poisoning them is morally wrong. Now we say right is right even if no one is doing it, and wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. Now I do not care how many people practice euthanasia, but as for me it is wrong. 23rd July 2012, Dr. Seth recovered from cancer. We have our own Asunta Wagura. Even though she has not recovered, she's hope for us. Now, if we practice euthanasia on these people, who will we look up to? They tell us each and every day that there is hope for life. They tell us that there is something to hold on to. Should we really practice euthanasia in Africa? Again, euthanasia is prone to vandalism. It is prone to abuse. People use euthanasia as a scapegoat in order to settle scores. Why should I order for my friend to be killed in hospital so that I can take his property, so that I can take his job, so that I can take his family, so that I can take his children? Height of insanity. Now, I am Neema Ndeti. I have been suffering from a long-term ailment. I have hope in life. Don't take away this hope from me. Thank you.
We'll now hear closing statements from the proposers. You have 1 minute.
My friend Neema, get to understand the words of the national anthem. Let me ask you, talking of service being our honest endeavor, which other service can we give to dying people other than mercy killing? I don't see any. I'll give you an example on mercy killing. My uncle, who had hemophilia, was involved in a car accident, a car carnage. Then, he was the only survivor in the whole vehicle. And to make matters worse, he was a smoker. He was rushed to hospital, bleeding profusely, and he was not to survive, the doctor said. He has hemophilia, and it was to be discovered later that he had brain tumor. So he was taken to a hospice, and my family, the whole of the clan, we tried to raise money. Nothing happened. Nothing. There's nothing we could do about it. We just watch him die waiting in pain. No, we had to use anesthesia. He has got to be saved and die a good death. What a death full of suffering. Thank you.
Opposers, closing statement.
I believe that every human being, as long as you have breath in you, should strive to survive until you take that last breath. Muhammad tells me that the Quran says that whomever takes life has taken life from the whole society, and whomever lets life or gives life has given life to the whole society. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not want the weight of the whole society on my shoulders. Now, we've been told that maybe the doctor said that it's not possible, but the good Lord has not said so. The good Lord has not said it is impossible. Life is precious. Life is sacred. And the greatest we can do is to protect life. Thank you.
One of the things that I was hoping to hear from Kagumo High School is the fact that when you look at most of the reports that have been done concerning euthanasia, is that a huge percentage of those who end up going through euthanasia, a huge percentage of them are usually just on the verge of death. Kenneth, good use of humor, even when it's a very sensitive topic like this one.
Kahuhia, Diana, you're calm and collected, and you come over very well as a fast speaker as well, and you know how to emphasize on your points. However, there was a lot of repetition at some point all across the board, and I was afraid. However, we got your point. Neema, you teach me a lot of things. Today I've learned something. Right is right even if no one is doing it, and wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. I think these are very nice phrases that you use to punch over some of the points that you want to bring across, and you ending it with a personal experience as well, engages the audience in a way that is very emotional. All the best to the two teams.
John, good debater. Kenneth, commendable presentation, and that's the best way forward. Neema, you're a good speaker. In fact, you're just a great debater in the making. I love the fact that you're not loud. You're just yourself. When you come to debate, you just have your style of presentation, which is quite commendable. To the two teams, it was a commendable task.
Judges saw it fit to give Kagumo High 72%. Please give them a round of applause. They also saw it fit to award Kahuhia girls with 74%. Therefore, they are our winners for the debate.
From us here at the Great Debaters Contest, we'll see you next time. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyambok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.